You may be familiar with this submarines, isn't it? Yes, this is the Ohio-class submarines, the largest submarines ever made by America, and we will talk about them. For starters, the United States consists of 4 operational classes: Ohio, Los Angeles, Seawolf, and Virginia, all of which are nuclear-powered. The 14 Ohio-class ballistic missile submarines, SSBN, serve as the naval base of the U.S. Strategic Triad. 4 additional Ohio-class submarines are configured as cruise missile submarines, SSGN, that have special forces attack and insertion capabilities. 3 classes of U.S. attack submarines, the Virginia, Seawolf, and Los Angeles, are tasked with attacking and destroying enemy ships, support ground operations and carrier groups, and carry out supervision. Each of the 18 Ohio-class displaced 18,750 tons submerged, and making it the largest submarine ever built for the U.S. Navy. They are the world's 3rd largest submarines, behind the Russian Navy's Soviet-designed 48,000-ton Typhoon class and 24,000-ton Borei class. The Ohio can carry more missiles than either, 24 Trident II missiles apiece versus 16 by the Borei class, 20 by the Borei II, and 20 by the Typhoon class. Originally, the Ohio class was designed in the 1970s to carry the concurrently designed Trident submarine-launched ballistic missile. The first 8 Ohio-class submarines were armed at first with 24 Trident IC-4 SLBM. Beginning with the 9th Trident submarine, Tennessee, the remaining boats were equipped with the larger 3-stage Trident II D5 missile. The Trident I missile carries 8 multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles, while the Trident II missile carries 12 in total, delivering more destructive power than the Trident I missile and with greater accuracy. Judging from its appearance, the Ohio submarine has dimensions of 170 meters in length and a 13-meter beam. As an example of how big this submarine is, just look at the comparison with the Empire State Building in New York City, U.S. football field, and other ships. The Ohio-class submarine has a speed of 12 knots surfaced and 20 knots submerged. The submarine spends 70 days at sea, followed by 25 days in the dock for overhaul. The Ohio-class ballistic missile submarines are home-ported at Naval Submarine Base Kings Bay and Naval Submarine Base Bangor. Each SSBN has 2 crews, blue and gold, which alternately man the submarines while on patrol. This maximizes the SSBN's strategic availability, reduces the number of submarines required to meet strategic requirements, and allows for proper crew training, readiness, and morale. Total crew in one Ohio-class submarine, 155. 15 officers, 140 enlisted. In terms of armament, Ohio-class submarines are armed with a Trident submarine-launched ballistic missile made by Lockheed Martin Space and Cruise Missile. From SSBN 726 to SSBN 733, using 24 Trident IC-4 SLBM with up to 8 MIRVs 100 kiloton TNT nuclear warheads each, range 7,400 kilometers. SSBN 734 to SSBN 743, using 24 Trident II D5 SLBM with up to 12 MIRVs, 475 kiloton TNT nuclear warheads each, range 11,300 kilometers. SSGN version, using 22 tubes each with 7 Tomahawk cruise missiles, totaling 154. So why is the Ohio-class submarine divided into ballistic missile submarines and cruise missile submarines? The answer was in 1994. The Nuclear Posture Review Study determined that of the 18 Ohio SSBN the U.S. Navy would be operating in total, 14 would be sufficient for the strategic needs of the U.S. The decision was made to convert 4 Ohio-class boats into SSGN capable of conducting conventional land attacks and special operations. As a result, the 4 oldest boats of the class, Ohio, Michigan, Florida, and Georgia, progressively entered the conversion process in late 2002 and were returned to active service by 2008. The boats could thereafter carry 154 Tomahawk cruise missiles and 66 special operations personnel, among other capabilities and upgrades. The conversion modified 22 of the 24 88-inch diameter Trident missile tubes to contain large vertical launch systems, one configuration of which may be a cluster of 7 Tomahawk cruise missiles. In this configuration, The number of cruise missiles carried could be a maximum of 154, the equivalent of what is typically deployed in a surface battle group. Other payload possibilities include new generations of supersonic and hypersonic cruise missiles, submarine-launched intermediate-range missiles, unmanned aerial vehicles, the ADM-160 MALD, sensors for anti-submarine warfare or intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions, counter-mine warfare payloads such as the AN/BLQ-11 long-term mine reconnaissance system, and the broaching universal buoyant launcher and stealthy affordable capsule system specialized payload canisters. The missile tubes also have room for stowage canisters that can extend the forward deployment time for special forces. The other two Trident tubes are converted to swimmer lockout chambers. For special operations, the advanced sealed delivery system and the dry deck shelter can be mounted on the lockout chamber, and the boat will be able to host up to 66 special operations sailors or Marines, such as Navy SEAL or USMC MARSOC teams. Improved communications equipment installed during the upgrade allows the SSGN to serve as a forward-deployed clandestine small combatant joint command center. According to Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty II, START II, which was approved in 1992, stipulates that it is no longer allowed to have more than 14 strategic missile submarines starting from 2002. Rather than decommissioning these 4 submarines, the U.S. Navy has converted them to conventionally armed nuclear-powered submarines, based on the CRS report updated on June 24, 2021. The 14 Ohio-class submarine SSBNs will be replaced by 12 new SSBN called the Navy Columbia-class program, SSBN 826, by 2031.